Here's a lie. Well, my life isn't any better in sobriety. Just keep waiting. That's actually one of the reasons I returned to drinking is I said, I'd rather end up in a ditch drinking than maintain my boring life sober.
I was like, you're so boring, this and that. And she started crying. And my sister doesn't cry. Like isn't really emotional. She's the opposite of me. So emotions and she was crying. And I was like, she was like, I am fun. And this and that. And I woke up the next day, of course, like, oh my God, I feel so bad. Like
sometimes slips, there can be a positive side. It took me 6 years, by the way, to get back to 1 year of sobriety. That's another reason. Don't even think about it.
I see all the people, drunk drivers that come in and are so banged up. We had a guy recently hit going 70 miles an hour, no seatbelt, was drinking, ejected. I'd rather have somebody there and listening in and camera off doing whatever than not there at all because they feel like they have to put their camera on. So yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. I used to sometimes explain to people, be like, I don't have my camera on just because that's what I'm doing. And believe me, it helps me listen to every word. And the only bad thing, I have to keep running over to my computer to take notes. I have 300 pages of sobriety notes. It's insane. But it's true. Even right up till I share, I don't turn the camera on because right before I share that, and I do feel like everyone's looking at me. And again, who cares? But I want to be focused just writing my notes. I'm a perfectionist even when it comes to sharing. So whatever the topic is, I have to search my 300 pages of notes for keywords related
Oh my
and then
God.
pack them all in. Oh, it's crazy. I end up with 12 lines of notes.
Try to just go off the top of your head and see what happens one time.
I know.
Go
It's a great
be
challenge.
put yourself, do something wild. Be like, I'm not gonna with my nose. I'm just gonna share from the heart.
Well, guess what happened the other day, actually? I planned to do that. I was out for a run. I've been recently refortifying myself. That is so key to maintaining your sobriety. You have to fortify. That is to strengthen yourself against attack, in this case of the voice. And that's by doing hard things every day. Cold shower finish, number one, 250% dopamine kick. I know the ladies, not supposed to go below 55 degrees, I think it is. But baby steps, whatever it takes. Anyway, and sharing gives me a huge dopamine kick. So I returned to that and I was out for a run prior to the 8 a.m. call. And I said, I'm going to share first. And I got home and it's 8:05. The guy's talking about the topic. And he said, what's the best thing that you've done in sobriety? And I was in the kitchen and doing stuff. Usually people don't raise their hand till they're done with the whole topic. I said, oh my God, this is a great topic. There's going to be hands up. And I ran on my computer and there were already 6 hands up. So I ended up having to, of course, spend the next 15 minutes or perfecting my notes. So I was going to be spontaneous. All right. Anyway, God, cut to the chase. Sorry, people. That gray period of you do have to accept, here's a lie. Well, my life isn't any better in sobriety. Just keep waiting. That's actually one of the reasons I returned to drinking is I said, I'd rather end up in a ditch drinking than maintain my boring life sober. But you know why that was? It's because I wasn't in community. So again, I wasn't doing the work. I was doing hard things sober every day. That's how I maintained it for 3.5 years. But then I basically stopped doing that. I lost my job. I lost my girlfriend. Nothing to do with drinking, just the way it worked out. And I was dating, but it was boring. My point is, sometimes slips, there can be a positive side. It took me 6 years, by the way, to get back to 1 year of sobriety. That's another reason. Don't even think about it. But at least this time I did it in community and got permission to enjoy life sober, as I call it, emotional sobriety. Yeah. So my point is, what is my point, Megan?
Well, I guess I would say if somebody was feeling that way you got to do something different. Probably you can't just not drink, you can't just be like, I'm just quitting. Sometimes you got to do a little overhaul, not right away, but it's definitely surrounding yourself with people who are in doing the same thing. So whatever community, people who are growth mindset, boundaries. If there's people in your life that are still drinking, but if you're still hanging out with the same people, going to the same places, yeah, you're gonna be bored, especially if those people are drinkers. Like, hanging around people who drink when you don't drink, it's not fun, and it's not fun because 'cause you're boring, it's just not that great. Like, I don't know, like, the conversations aren't sometimes that great, they're very surface level, they're the same things, like, so you gotta get out there and try new hobbies and find new things to do that, like, fill you up and bring you joy and give you purpose and passion, like, something to be excited about every day to get up. So, definitely, you gotta do something if you're feeling that way, if you're feeling like this is boring. I mean, and it is. Sometimes we feel worse before we feel better. It's depending how long you've been drinking, because there's PAWS, there's like post-acute withdrawal syndrome, which could go up to like a year or sometimes even longer for people if they've been drinking. So you could feel like depressed or anxious. But so there's different things definitely that can impact that. But I always say, like, especially in the beginning, if people are feeling bored or like this sucks, it's like that's not what sobriety feels like. That's what detoxing and rewiring your brain from a toxic substance feels like. So just hang in there and it's going to get better.
Yes. I just happened to catch a YouTube today on something called libidinal attachment. I believe it's related to your libido, but libidinal. And you have to sever your libidinal attachment to drinking. They say it's just like being hung up on an ex, to return to that analogy. You have to let it go. In the absence of mourning that, we maintain that libidinal attachment. It stays there. So even as we go on with life and we get sober and our job might be going well, etc., we're still thinking about, we're romancing, we're still thinking about that drinking life. You have to let it go. You have to accept it wholeheartedly, and that attachment will go somewhere else. They say that energy has a natural tendency to go and form attachments to things, but you just have to stay sober and stay patient and wait for it to happen. And it is going to be gray and insufferable for a while. Might be a long while, but and if you're not in community, doing the work will accelerate. And just being in community. First couple years, I wasn't even fully sober at that point. I've been in community for almost 4 years now. I was on calls day and night. I mean, self-care, that's part of doing the work. Even at my pizza shop, I'd have a headphone in. Even when we were busy, I'd always be listening to calls. And they can be fun. Believe it or not, they're fun. And it becomes you don't even have to go to calls, that you want to go to calls. But community is so important to that process. And you will make friends. They're virtual friends, but they'll feel like lifelong friends. Yeah, it's a big part.
They're not going to land on your doorstep one day or no one's going to just log you in magically. Like, you have to do it. You have to either join a community, you gotta, like, just take that action and do it, and just whether you don't put your camera on, you don't share, or if you're, like, looking for, like, people in your, like, real life to hang out with, again, like, maybe go to in-person things that are near you, but you have to go out. They're not gonna just land on your doorstep and be like, "Hi, I'm your new sober bestie, and we're gonna have we're gonna be friends." You gotta get out there and, like, look for these people, and you don't need a lot, you just need just a select few, or 1, really. But you'll have too many, like, eventually you'll have so many people in your phone that are all from, like, your community that you can message, and you can't keep up with them, and it's yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me, I was gonna say that I send them trade voice notes with them all day, and, I wanna get to, like, 3 more lies quickly, but you just reminded me, you mentioned you said something instead of "It's not gonna fall in your lap." I realized recently that alcohol was just the wand. I was the magician. It was just turning on levers in my head, but I was the one out there dancing and laughing and having fun and all that stuff long ago when alcohol worked for me. And by staying sober, staying patient, I've learned to become naturally intoxicated on life. And I can be that fun guy on a dime, as could you, Megan. We could party it out right now if we had time, and we will on a future occasion. But yeah, so it will happen. Oh, but what you reminded me of is, yeah, sobriety doesn't come with a wand. You have to work for it. But then it will come, and you can be the magician. So now a big one, Megan, probably the biggest one that I admit I have a hard time objecting to is the old numb out. I just want to numb
Mhm.
out. I can't process this grief, this trauma. I just need to feel something different right now. I'm too angry to deal with it. What do you say to that?
Well, we know, like, if we do give into that and we use it to numb, well, first of all, it works, right? It works. It does. We do numb out. So, like, we're not going to lie and be like, it doesn't work. It works until it doesn't. It works, but it comes at a really high cost. And so, what we're essentially also doing is we're prolonging the pain and suffering. The longer that we're like numbing through things. And that's what I did for the 3+ years after my divorce was I drank through the whole thing. And I stayed stuck in the same thing, the same problems, the same crap every single day in my head because I was drinking. I could never move past it. I could never move through it. It was like Groundhog Day every day. It was miserable. It was horrible. And it wasn't until I stopped numbing it and I started facing it that I was able to move through it, heal, and all the things. So, definitely another thing is too that we don't wait till we're in crisis mode to like set up our systems or to set up our help. A lot of times people think like when they're doing good, maybe it's like, I don't need to go to meetings or I don't need to go to therapy. Like I would try to cancel my therapist when I was feeling good. And she would say, no, that's when you do need to come because you're going to build your skills. So when you're doing all these like this maintenance package thing, you won't feel the need to numb out. You won't give into it when you're doing these things over time. So you're not just waiting till crisis mode to be like, "Oh, what was I supposed to do? I'm supposed to meditate and journal now and I'm supposed to oh, what am I supposed to do so I don't go try to numb out?" No, like you do them all the time and so you're able to move through like stress or some of those like other tough feelings just a little bit with more ease. So but it is hard, like I said, because it does actually work. So having support, talking to people, doing something else that is gonna distract you, whether it is like exercise, walking, running. There's just so many other things that we could do that are gonna actually work and make us feel better than a numb out. They're gonna just relax our nervous system and our body. That's my feeling on it.
Yeah, it is a doozy. It really is.
You what would you
But
say? Like,
and thank you for asking.
"You're welcome."
I'll tell you what I not only what I say, what I did 2 Sundays ago after I called you, that's when realized I was losing some resilience. I wanted to do a solo podcast, and because of my dang perfectionism, I was about to record it again, 45 minutes for the 3rd time, and I was just mad at myself, and I just didn't wanna do it, and I was just kinda down in the dumps in general, and, I did call you, and I did feel better, but I still was like, "Oh, man, I could crush this podcast if I was, intoxicated right now," and I wasn't feeling intoxicated on life. Sorry, but your call didn't fully do it, although it certainly put me in better spirits.
Oh my gosh.
But I was gonna say, talk about problems halved. I didn't finish the point about learning about my neurological condition, which is gonna be with me for life. I was really bummed out. My buddy pointed out I was in denial about it,
Well,
and
let's slow down a little bit, first of all.
yes,
You
I
still have
still
to
have
go
to
to your doctor.
go.
Like,
Yes,
Google's gonna,
but pretty
it's gonna tell you the worst case scenario. There's so many things now, like I told you I have Raynaud's, which sounds like it's like the opposite of yours. And there is medication I could take to minimize it, especially in the winter months. And so we don't wanna make up all these stories of what we think in our head. So but anyways, I know that wasn't gonna be your point, but
yes. Well, you mentioned Raynaud's. I also have that. So I have the
God,
condition
fingers.
where
Oh my god.
my fingers go numb and freezing on a dime. And it might be because the AC I've had cranked. And then my current condition is that my feet, I have this burning sensation almost in my feet at all times. So yeah, how about me? I've got a lot of conditions and alcohol has contributed to a lot of them. So yeah, don't do it.
I was gonna say something about how you said about how you wanted to do this podcast episode, and you're like, "If I was drinking, I would have, like, the energy and the whatever to go do it." Right? Is that kinda what you were saying?
Not energy, the uninhibited. I wanted to,
Oh, like
just say crazy things, be totally uninhibited.
okay,
Yeah.
because I was gonna say, if it was more of, like, yeah, just, like, get energy and stuff like that is really
Oh,
that
I've got energy.
about that, like, tied to a higher addiction rate when people like me, I would say, like, "Oh, I need to power clean the house." I'd be like, "I'm gonna drink before," and I would drink, and I would get energy, and I'd be like, get all my cleaning done. So I didn't know how to clean without drinking because it's so boring. So, but if you're somebody who drinks to raise up your level, that is usually a pretty good indicator, red flag for a higher, like addiction.
Oh, well, Megan, you're gonna make me segue to another lie I didn't even have listed, but I did it for years, drinking to make me more productive, which I was unknowingly self-medicating my ADD. I had no idea until I got sober that I even had it, and my therapist's insistence, I found out, and but I drank for years. Every afternoon, I'd say, "Oh, I haven't been productive all morning," largely because I was hungover. And then I'd say, "I'm gonna drink." Even though every morning I woke up, "I'm not gonna drink today." That voice would beat me down by the afternoon, say you're gonna drink to be more productive or creative. That's a big lie as well,
Mhm.
and
Right,
it
I'm in
never
the
worked.
bathroom blow drying my hair, writing lyrics to a song, like, I would not be doing that if I was still drinking, trust me. I would have the idea
Yeah, you
of it, but I couldn't act on it. I would have, like, ideas when I was drinking. I would usually wake up the next day and be like, "That's so stupid, you can't do that, you're not, smart enough," and I would never pursue anything, but I would have ideas sometimes when I was drinking, but I wouldn't. I would then be too tired and have low confidence to pursue anything.
oh, the creative ideas are flowing in my head. You stole my thunder, which is that I've now learned why I always had all these ideas. I always knew I had a screenplay in me, a musical. I'm gonna write one on sobriety based on It's a Wonderful Life. Just wait for that. And all my creativity's been unleashed in sobriety. Again, the promises of alcohol, all lies. That's why stand-up comedians, a lot of them are all addicts or so, well, they're one or the other. They even either think they get bombed and need to write jokes and to be on stage, or then they get sober and realize it becomes a superpower. So yes, that is another complete lie. I always drank to be more productive, and then I was goofing off on Facebook 15 minutes later or hitting golf balls in my living room. Yeah, does not work.
Did you say a lie of sobriety is boring? Sobriety will be boring. Did we do that one?
No,
Okay.
that is a good one. Let me forgive me, but on this note, because you mentioned cleaning the house, you've already heard this one, but the sober friend that told me that she used to need a bottle of wine to clean the house, and I said, "Wouldn't disinfectant have been more effective?"
Haha, bottom ting.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
hit that one.
So, yeah, I was just gonna say, sobriety is that the myth of like, well, sobriety is boring and being hungover is freaking really boring. Wasting a beautiful day, that's boring. I've had more fun and like done more cool things in sobriety. I didn't have my passport till I quit drinking. I didn't I've been on, hosted 8 retreats around the world. I didn't even travel. I didn't even do anything. It was like drinking was my activity, like hanging on my couch, or if I was with people drinking, it'd be like sitting around just like either gossiping or just talking, complaining about our lives. I didn't really do anything. So I see now, and my sister doesn't drink. And I used to always call her NFL, no fun Laura. And I'd be like, "You're so boring. Like, you should drink." And I would give her crap. And the last time, not, it was like years ago, I went home and she wasn't drinking. We went to like a benefit for my aunt. And my sister wouldn't drink and she wanted to go home and I wanted to stay and drink. And I was like, "You're so boring, this and that." And she started crying. And my sister doesn't cry. Like she's isn't really emotional. She's the opposite of me. So like emotions and she was crying and I was like, she was like, "I am fun." And this and that. And anyway, so she wouldn't I woke up the next day, of course, like, "Oh my God, I feel so bad." Like all this. So I tried to like reconnect with her and then I had to like go back home to Boston. So anyways, the more once I stopped drinking, I like called her up, of course, to make my amends with her and I was like, "I'm so sorry. Like you are the fun one. Like you've done so much. Like you're in ski patrol. Like she's won nurse of the year for all New York State. She does ski patrol, like learn to ski later on in life. She takes vacations. She's at the gym. Her house is always like clean. Her kids are like just always like her fun is like she just does what she wants to do and like feels, good about it. And she doesn't drink. So I was like, "You are the fun one. I'm so sorry." She's like, "It's okay. No big deal." I'm like, "No, it is. I see that now, you know what I mean?" So, anyways, not drinking is really, really fun because you get to just do what you want to do and not feel like bad about it. I don't know. Like I love boring. I actually love like sitting in my house and, not having plans and read a book or write something or work on my business or whatever. That's cool. Way better than sitting self-loathing in my bed.
Yeah, 1000%. It's redefined fun, but it's fun. You know what's fun? Going to bed sober. You know what's even more fun? Waking up sober is amazing. I went to an open bar birthday party about 6 months ago. I drove home sober, listening to music. You and I talked about this recently, right? Because I called you, you were driving, and you were like, "Oh, you're calling me during my music time?"
I usually won't answer because I like to sing my songs before I go into work. And so it's like, like, okay, it's like maybe, you needed something or whatever. So I was like, you should feel lucky because this is my song time.
Yeah, I don't make calls in the car at all because I enjoy, especially after doing a hard thing. Going to an event might have been challenging and driving home from it. It's my celebration. And I never thought, for you people out there, stay sober, stay patient, that I would enjoy tunes in the car sober. Because, yeah, probably a lot of us, I never really discussed it with people, but driving tipsy, listening to music was pretty fun, but way more fun now. I got my satellite radio. It shows about 8 stations at once I get to choose from. Why'd you just snicker at
I
that
thought you
about?
just said drinking and listening to music was fun.
I am admitting that being tipsy in the car and listening to music, I enjoy.
Like while you were driving.
Yes.
See, that sounds like horrible to me. Like in a way of like, I don't know, especially at the end, even if I had like one drink, I felt like I had like vertigo. I felt so dizzy. The thought of, I don't know, I didn't think that that was fun actually. I thought it was like, maybe I did. I don't know. It's so long ago now, but the thought
Yeah.
of thinking that it's fun is like, what? Especially because I see the aftermath. I see all the people, drunk drivers that come in and are so banged up. We had a guy like recently hit like going 70 miles an hour, no seatbelt, was drinking, ejected. I don't know. I just like see things like that. So that what I think, I don't know. I can't even imagine being like listening to music and drinking is fun. I don't know. But that's your
Yeah.
reality. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we do admit to, drinking and driving in sobriety circles as we become more honest and authentic, and honestly, we'll say there were very few times that I was hammered, like, absolutely should not have been driving, so lucky I didn't kill someone, etcetera. So, I'm more talking about driving tipsy. That is not excusable either, but I'm more talking about tipsy driving. I enjoyed music. I never really discussed it. I assumed you might relate and others might. And I did not think I would enjoy music in the car. I had to listen to talk radio all the time, certainly when I was in the throes when I was sober, but during the throes of when I was in my drinking days because of all those negative thoughts in my head. And then even when I got sober initially, I couldn't enjoy it. But
Wow.
as I said, music is back in my life and I so enjoy it. And you mentioned hangovers. Yeah, just not having a hangover is amazing. And it's another reason, why would you wanna even if you can moderate, you're still gonna end up with those nights you have a hangover. People that hate the thought, they just think one day at a time, they don't wanna think never drinking the rest of their lives. I'm like, "Embrace it. You're never gonna drink the rest of your life." And for me, I'm hooked on just having a clear mind. It's so great. The thought of just I cringe. I saw a guy doing shots in a movie, and I cringed at it. You'll get there, but I know it's hard for people. And the fun thing, just I heard a guy say, he goes, "However much fun you think you can have in sobriety, take it and multiply it by 1,000,
No, I love that.
because it is. It's great. And I may not always be having fun on the outside, although I often am, but I'm always having fun on the inside, right? All these wonderful thoughts filled my head. It is fun. You just gotta be patient. And just to make sure we finish, because the hardest one is it's the numbing out thing. I mean, that is the one that's tough to compete with, but the reality is it's just not worth it. You are absolutely screwing your future self, and if you can just get past it. And just to finish, so when I had to record my podcast for the 3rd time and I thought, "Oh, I just wanted to feel intoxicated," and I wasn't feeling it naturally as I so typically do. So I basically chugged an NA beer, and then I even had some NA bourbon because for that of special occasions, and I did some shots of that. But you know what? It did the trick. I mean, it didn't totally make me feel intoxicated, but it didn't make me want to run out and drink. I will never drink again. I've learned every lesson, but it just got me to the point I was like, all right, I'm ready to record now. And you know what? I banged it out. I did great. Yeah, was it as wild and crazy as it might have been if I was drinking? No, but who cares? It's just not worth it. So whatever you want to numb out for, you got to just get through the day. I love the woman that said, if I'm in the bathtub, I can't be at the liquor store at the same time. So whatever it takes, I say
I like
yeah, it's a good one, right?
yeah. Or I like you gotta feel it to heal it. Like, if you keep numbing it, you're not gonna heal it, you're not gonna move through it. It's not even really a thought, even on my hardest and I've been through some stuff really in the last, like, few years or even just, sobriety, and it's just not really a thought anymore though, like, to numb it, because I feel like my nervous system and my brain is just, like, in a better baseline, so when I do come through something, it's like my first thought and not it's not even a first, second, third, fourth, or fifth thought is to not go numb out and have a drink. It's like, I gotta get for a walk. I gotta get in the bath. I gotta turn my phone off. I gotta just take a nap. I gotta eat some ice cream. I don't know, like, there's just so many things that come before the numb out thing, and even after going through a 10-year breakup, like, I'm not even thinking like, "Oh, I'm gonna drink to deal with this." I don't know.
Yeah. And now we're kind of intersecting with craving prevention, which is probably similar. Partially, it's getting a craving where you get the urge to numb out. So I always kind of rolled my eyes a little bit with like craving only takes 20 minutes. I was on an app that was like had brain teasers. Like if I have a craving, I'm not doing a brain teaser. But and you know what happens when you get a craving? I think this is so fascinating. Your brain releases a little bit of dopamine in order to get you to seek more. It's amazing how tricky the brain is. So what I say now, the ultimate cravings overcomer, mood enhancer, is a cold shower finish. Even just a regular cold shower would change your nervous system. And then that cold shower finish will give you a 250% dopamine kick, just at 57 degrees. So the ladies can do that for 1 minute, 1 to 3 minutes. It will give you that dopamine kick. At its peak, alcohol gives us an 150% dopamine kick. And that's when it was working for us. So it's another one I don't hear people talk about enough. Dr. Cappy says, so what does it give us now? At best, like 20, 30, 40% maybe for 20 minutes. That's it. A cold shower finish, which I know, screw me, but just try it. Baby steps, 250%. So this thing that'll give you way more, you're not going to do. You're going to drink all day because you just have to hold the drink to you. Sorry to sound preachy, but just because you can tip a bottle to your lips versus, yes, having 10, 15 seconds of shock. That's all it is. And then it gets easier. And all you got to do is hyperventilate. The colder it is, the more I hyperventilate. And that Sunday, the first one probably didn't take, and I probably should have taken another one before filming my podcast. The only problem is in the summer, the water doesn't get as cold. I need it really cold. So I went through an ice bath phase, which was even better, but I won't get into that. I have YouTubes on all this, many on cold showers. All right. But pillow to pillow, as they say, whatever it takes. If you can get to bed, if you can sleeping is numbing out. If you can sleep okay. I do take melatonin. You don't want to get addicted to that either for sleep. You ultimately want to understand your underlying causes, which you can only do if you stay sober, stay patient, and not even drink much coffee. But melatonin is a naturally recurring in the body, and we produce less as we age. I know a woman that's super resistant to it, but she doesn't sleep well at all, especially when she's over caffeinated. You don't want to get hooked on taking every night, but it can help you sleep. So whatever it takes to do it. But yeah, bottom line, it's not worth it. And of course, you wake up to the same problems. Here's a quote. I have two quick quotes. One, there's no problem that the drinking can't make worse. And I say life is hard. Drinking makes it 1,000 times harder.
True. Absolutely.
I want to hit on the last one, which is the sneaky identity lies. We kind of touch it. Sober me is boring. We talked about that it can be fun, but sober me is boring. I lose my personality without a drink. Alcohol makes me more fun. My friends don't like me sober as much, or I don't know who I am without it. And what I'll say to those while you're thinking, Megan, is you don't know who you are with it. So many times in sobriety, especially early, did I say, "Who am I?" I loved it. A lot of people would do that on sobriety calls, right? We're like, "Oh my God, I did a hard thing today. Who am I?" I asked a girl at the gym, "Who am I?" I'm learning so much about myself. And I'm also learning about my other problems like ADHD. So I like to say, get rid of alcohol. That's almost the easy one. Like, you just have to not drink. Wait till you see the work for overcoming ADHD. You got to like stick to routines and plan. So I say, the excitement is dealing with your other 98 problems. But the point is, you don't know yourself at all. That's not who you are when you are. So, yeah,
Yeah, you get to find your baseline, you get to find out. But that is a question I hear often is like, I don't even know who I am. Like, especially people who have drank their whole life or, women who maybe like raised their kids and their kids moved out and now they're empty nesters and they're like, I don't know who I am without alcohol or like as a role as this. And that it's scary. And like, yeah, it's scary, but it's also really amazing and really fun and really like cool to get to know yourself or to get to see what you even like. Like sometimes people are like, I don't even know. Do I like pizza? Do I like because they're just like, do what everybody else wants to do but yeah, I mean, I'm so different than the drinking version of me. Like, I'm who I always, like, meant to be or who I always was, like, before alcohol came into my life, but even better than that because 'cause I'm older and wiser and all the things, but definitely, like, I'm so different, I feel like, than when I was drinking. Alcohol kept me so small, and now it's just the possibilities of everything are just endless. I guess that's what you're saying, right? The lie that, like, "Oh, my friends won't like me." I don't know, good, like, I'll see you later then, like, because you might lose friends, that's the reality, but were they even really friends? Like, you might realize your drinking friends were just your drinking friends. They're not actually your, like, ride or die who's gonna pick me up if I need something or take me to the hospital to my colonoscopy or things like that. Like, you're going to find out who those like real people are. So your circle might get smaller. Like, my phone definitely stopped ringing when I quit, but that's okay because it started ringing. Other people started calling me and I met so many more amazing people. So, yeah, those are just lies that we tell ourselves and they're not true and you get to prove them wrong.
yeah, absolutely. I've broken that news to people like, hey, if you don't want to go to the bar with sober with your friends, you might not just enjoy their company that much. And that even reminded me, like, sober mornings to me as much fun as sober nights ever were. I mean, I love it. I love the mornings. Yeah, and the other lie related was, yeah, sober me isn't fun, but how do you know? Because you know what you need to be fun? You need to have confidence. And you're not going to have confidence when you're in the throes of drinking. You're just not. You're beaten down, you have self-loathing. So you through the sobriety, through recovery, you gain self-love, you gain confidence. Confidence has brought out so much creativity in me. Yeah, I might have some little natural gift of the gab. Thank you. But everybody, but everybody is has some kind of superhero within them and superpowers within them. They truly do. And going through recovery, you're doing something, one of the hardest things to do, making alcohol disappear in a world we're surrounded by. I love to say we're wizards. The normies are muggles and it'll come out. It will come out. You have much more to your personality than you realize. It's all being stifled and tampered down by drinking. I love to say in early sobriety, I love taking my new personality out for a test drive. When I bought a mattress in my 1 year, I was doing my stand-up routine for these kids in the Sleep Number mattress store, and I shared that night. I said, "Oh, man, I'm loving my new sober personality." I mean, I wasn't fun. I didn't have fun. Believe it or not, I didn't laugh all those years, the majority of the last 20 years.
Yeah, one of the things, like, I love karaoke, and I always, like, was like, "Oh, I can only do karaoke if I'm drinking." But then the next day, I would feel like, "Oh my god, I was probably, like did I look drunk? Was I slurring? Was I" and then I wouldn't be able to go do karaoke that night if I wasn't drinking. But eventually so I've done karaoke now that I've been, like, sober. I've done a lot of things that, like, I dancing, things I thought I could never do. And it's, like, such an adrenaline rush to go up there and I remember when I went to, I was like, I'm the only person that's gone up, I pretty much know that wasn't drinking, that didn't have liquid courage. I went up fully with myself, as myself, and Just felt it was such a great feeling to know like you can get there. Maybe not right away. It definitely takes time, but it's pretty cool.
Yep. And you know where to practice, Megan,
Right.
those things technically is in community. You can actually sing on calls. I've done it. You got to.
I always threaten the group if no one has a hand up. I'm like, I will sing and dance right now. You don't want to hear me sing. And then usually someone's like, oh, dude, I'll share. But you sing in a community before?
Absolutely. I introduced this woman, Louise, that ran calls. I was like, Louise, have you heard about Chapel Roan? She has this awesome song out. I was like, HOTTOGO, you can take me hot to go. HOTTOGO, you can take me hot to go. Sang that right out
What did everybody
on.
do? Laugh? Like, were they?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to think so. Yeah, they were like, "You need to sing every Friday." It was actually, that was a Thursday call, but I sang on another Friday one. They're like, "You need to sing on every Friday call."
Oh, I love it.
Um,
That's cool.
yeah. I've done a few reels lately singing. I talked about "I'm Still Standing." I sang on my 1 year, that song, singing as if I was talking to The Voice, as a matter of fact, saying, "And did you think this fool could never win? Well, look at me, I'm a coming back again." Yeah, I'm still standing, voice. Screw you. That voice, it thinks it's protecting us,
Mm.
and there was a time, and it thinks alcohol is the answer to everything, and it thinks it's protecting us. But, the reality is we don't need that anymore. That's not who we are. Every one of those lies has one thing in common, and they're all trying to protect a person that no longer exists, the drinker. The person who needed it, you've left that person behind, and the voice just hasn't gotten the memo. So you just got to remember that. We're all stronger sober, and you got to stay sober, stay patient.
Amen to that. Love that.
All right, Megan, I teased your gambling addiction. Maybe we'll do an IG live on that. And all Megan's info will be in the show notes, but you do run a women's community, correct?
Yes. Women's only, Soba Sisters, the Soba Sisters Empowerment Club, and we have meetings 7 days a week and like the chat community, all the things there. So we were named Best Sober Community in 2024, which is pretty cool. We're not the biggest, but we are powerful. So if you are a woman, come check us out. No hate to the men, but it's just a women's only community.
Oh yeah, nothing against the fellas. No. And it's funny because I have now started, or I'm starting a co-ed community called Rewired Nation. Will also be in the show notes. It's going a little slowly as I struggle to overcome my ADD issues, but Megan gave me so much free advice on it. And in my back of my head, I'm thinking, doesn't she know that I'm going to be her competitor? And now she's even my consultant on this. And as I said, a retreat that we were both at, I joked that she's giving me all this help, even though I'm going to crush her someday. But I love it. Everybody helps out everybody. As they say, you find your people, you find the community that's right for you.
Yeah.
And I love it. So yeah, all that info will be in the notes, and we'll go from there. So, all right. Oh, what's your
This is
I
Atticus.
can't
He just wants to
Attic.
say hi. Yeah. He's
How
sitting next to me so patiently the whole time. And then right at the end, he was getting he's like, this is going really long. So can we wrap it up?
I know.
Just kidding.
I am looking at the clock saying 1 hour and 28. I vowed I was going to try to keep this to an hour, but
I
couldn't
gotta
be
go to the
done.
comedy
And
show. They might call me
that's
up on
right.
stage.
Said they might call you up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they do, you'll be ready for it. So,
Yeah.
oh, and to just finish, I did sober stand up within a community, but it is a great way to experiment and even quasi perform within community. It's great practice for real life. So
Yeah,
we can't encourage communities enough.
absolutely.
All right. As always, please like, share, subscribe, do a quick rating. Only takes 2 seconds, and/or review if you really want to be a hero. So, all right. Thank you. Bye, Megan.
Thank you.